Hi, welcome to the Red Booth Show. On tonight's episode, I have the gorgeous actress Amanda Righetti. She's been on The Mentalist, so you may have seen her there, and she also has a new movie coming out called Cats Dancing on Jupiter. So come and join us.
Oh, you're alive. Are you okay?
Yeah, it's no better. I'm fine.
I'm sorry. God, I'm so sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
Oops. Sorry about that.
All right, so hi, Amanda. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I'm happy about the new movie that's coming out.
Yes.
Obviously, it's being released in a special format.
Yes, we're releasing it in 4K on the internet.
That's
so,
right.
yeah, we're really looking forward to it. It's an exciting new venture for us, and the whole project has kind of been an exciting new venture in a lot of aspects.
Yeah, I heard a lot about this. Obviously, we were lucky to have Jordan Allen, the director, and your husband on the show as well. And this is for Cats Dancing on Jupiter. And Amanda's one of the, well, mainly the star of the show.
Yeah.
You have also another co-star as well, but you're the one. You're the one that it's really about in the end.
Yeah, Erica Taylor's in it, and Jonathan Bennett, and I mean, just to list a few, Annalise Vanderpool, and Rex Smith, and Billy Wirth, and Richard Grieco. Yeah, it was a really eclectic and fun cast to work with, but interestingly enough, it was the beginning stages of it was we have all this red equipment and what do we do with it, and we should shoot something. And so Jordan eventually, found the script and rewrote it and, sort of made it his own, and it kind of just evolved from there into a production, and it was kind of wild and crazy and awesome, and it's been quite a ride.
You guys just did it sort of like on your own, sort of like that. You didn't have a huge, studio backing you or anything like that. And
No, this was completely on our own through our own production company. It was my first feature-length film to produce, and years ago I used to line produce for Jordan, and
that's right.
That's how we met.
That's right. That's the very first time we met.
Yeah. So it had been quite a while since I had produced anything, but wearing both hats was a big undertaking, and I was filming The Mentalist while we were filming the movie, so it was...
That's right.
It was a little crazy. It was a little crazy, but we made it through, and I think all things considered, the film came out well. It could have been a complete disaster, but it came out, I think, exceptionally well, considering everything that we were up against to get it done.
Well, you guys did a wonderful job, and you look so amazing in the movie, as she does right now, of course, as usual. But your makeup and just outfits and your hair, I love all of the styling that they did with you. And the thing that I don't know if I'm allowed to get into is the character twist that you have to deal with.
Right, I know, it's always a tricky thing talking about projects, because you don't want to give it away.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's I think it was an interesting challenge doing the movie to... once people see it,
they'll know what we're talking about.
We'll know what we're talking about, but to kind of have the elephant in the room and not kind of know where the elephant is or where the elephant should be, or if we should be, talking about it or not talking about it. But it made for an interesting way of shooting, and it was definitely a different process than I've ever experienced before.
I can imagine, because, like, for example, there's a clip that I want to show you guys that is very much centered around this issue of her character in the movie and how she's talking to I think it was Bennett that you were talking to in the clip.
Yeah, to Jonathan.
Yeah.
For that scene.
That's
Yes.
right. So let's go ahead and show you guys.
Riley? Why didn't you answer my texts?
Oh, you.
What are you doing here?
I came to get some more wine.
So what's it gonna be? You want me or Kylie?
You are funny. Come on, you know you want me.
Kylie brought you here. She's a
Yeah, I guess so. But you are the one that I want.
So yeah, I mean, how hard that must be to not give it away, but still you're going along with the plot line there.
Yeah, well, I think Johnny was such a good sport too, and it was great having Johnny on board because I think 2 weeks before we were scheduled to start filming, the guy that was attached to the movie fell out.
No.
And same with the girl that plays Kylie fell out. So we were in a total casting reshuffle.
Total scramble.
And Johnny was such a great sport about coming on, and he was really supportive of the project, aside from just being so much fun to work with. And
he's a cutie too, so
Yeah.
that doesn't hurt.
And he let us do some some really terrible things to him. So he kind of got abused, but he was really a good sport about it.
Well, they'll have to watch the movie to find out what that was.
Yeah.
So then, I know that you were working on this movie in between doing a TV show, and you have been on The Mentalist for, I think, almost 6 years. Was that right?
Yeah, well, by the time I had finished wrapping up, I was on it for about 6.5 years. So
Wow.
yeah, I started with the pilot and
Wow.
did pretty much every episode except for the ones that I was on maternity leave for, and then I left halfway through the 6th season.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you about that because as a woman in the acting field, when you get pregnant, that's kind of
It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of scary.
And you had been recently married.
Well, we had gotten married a couple years previous to The Mentalist starting. Jordan and I have been together a long time, but it was more the show had started a couple years after we got married, and then with the pregnancy, it was very unexpected for us, and I think sometimes it's a really scary thing to get thrown into too. It's like it's going to be a big life change and all that stuff, and then it's sort of like, okay, now what do I do with my career, and how are people going to look at me, and is this really going to affect how or if I'm able to work? And the show was really amazing, and they were so accommodating, and they couldn't write it into the script because of the storyline in the previous season, and it wasn't really working for them to do it that way, but they shot around it. And I always was making jokes about, well, how are you guys going to explain the anomaly of weight gain that Van Pelt goes through? Should we just randomly have a box of donuts just sitting on the desk?
That would be great.
Because it was sort of never really explained, but yeah, they were really amazing, and I think the nice thing too was everybody I worked with had families, so
they got it,
and they knew, and they were really lovely about the whole thing, and so it made all those kind of jitters and that nervous anticipation of what to do or what was going to come, it kind of quieted all that stuff down, and it was, I think, in all things considered, it was the perfect kind of scenario. And being unplanned, I couldn't have really planned it better because it worked out when we went on Christmas hiatus. I started the maternity leave and was able to still come back and finish out that season with them. So yeah, it worked out quite well.
That's really great because I know obviously you have all of these concerns, and then you have this major role in this TV show, and then this happens, and then but you want to be happy about a baby. You want to be like, okay, this is a wonderful experience, and then you have your beautiful little son now, Mr. Knox.
Yeah, and it was nice because I had 6 weeks maternity leave after I had him, and so going back to work, I still wanted to be able to nurse and be there with him, and it's such an intimate bonding experience that you go through as a mother, and of course it's such a huge life change, but it was great because I brought him to set with me, so I was able to keep him in my trailer with the nanny, and I was still able to go in between setups and be with him. And
wow, that's amazing.
I feel really blessed because I think a lot of moms don't get that experience. Like when they have to go back to work, and they are either having to drop the child at daycare or leave them with a nanny, and they don't get to spend that time with their child. And it can be really difficult when you're trying to juggle a career and motherhood. But
how could you even focus? I can't even like being on set trying to like be in character, and then you have like your baby. You're like, "Yes, my baby needs a bottle, or my baby needs to be fed, or my baby nedes a diaper change," and you're just like, "That's amazing."
I think doing Cats Dancing on Jupiter was probably good training because I was juggling while we were filming the movie. I was juggling going from one set to another, and the sleep deprivation that kind of comes with it, and trying to get the movie as a whole finished. So in some ways, this was, having a child was another production just at a greater scale.
Wow. Well, you are amazing as a mother and as an actress, and and you're so dedicated. Like, you are in amazing shape. It's like, oh my God, after you're having a little baby. I mean, I know he's a little bit bigger now, but
yeah. I mean, it I don't know. It kind of comes and goes in waves. You just figure it out as you go. It's what you have to. I think for me, part of the challenge was just letting go of the control. That there's so many things you don't have control over when you're a mom, that you kind of just have to wing it and go with it and make it work as best as you can, and you just find your way as you go through it.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
totally. So I know that when you first started doing acting, you were first you worked behind the scenes in production, which is when we first met, and it was really funny. And I was thinking she should be in front of the camera because she's gorgeous. And anyways, so she obviously did that, which is awesome. And you were in a few TV shows early on. I just thought it might be cool to talk a little bit about how you sort of got into acting.
Wow, I have always, I guess, been a performer. I started dancing when I was, I think, 4 years old. And,
oh wow!
And then did plays and productions when I was in school, and started modeling when I was 14, and then sort of got the acting bug in my late teens and moved to LA when I was 18. And I had such unrealistic expectations. I remember coming out here and thinking, oh, I'm just going to give it a couple weeks and see how it goes, in my like naive 18-year-old mind. And of course, that couldn't have been farther from reality. But after being here for about a year, I booked a pilot for Fox that wasn't picked up, but they, at the time, decided to sign me to a holding deal. And then the OC came about, and Warner Brothers and Peter Roth really sort of gave me my start and gave me my big break with the OC. And they took a big risk on me, I think, because I didn't have a lot of things under my belt. But it was a really amazing experience, and it was a great in for television. And
yeah, the OC was huge. I remember when it came out.
Phenomenon when it came out. It was amazing. Yeah, it was huge, and to be a part of such a successful show, but also such a great group of actors that I grew up looking up to. And there was something really surreal about it, but it also, it was a great opportunity for me. And from there, North Shore happened, and I became series regular on North Shore, and that was part of the Fox holding deal. And then, and then I had a sort of long-standing relationship with Fox over the years, and Warner Brothers, and then of course Warner Brothers put me in the Mentalist. But yeah, it's I don't know, I guess maybe I was destined for this business. I think it was always something that subconsciously I probably was working towards, but didn't really think about it. When you're a kid, it's just about something that you love and that your heart is really a part of. And for me, dancing was my first love, and then acting kind of came second. But when
that's why you look so amazing, because you dance too. People who dance are always look amazing.
I guess.
Then you got the bug back then when you were really little.
Yeah, I mean, I really, the dancing bug was, I think, what first took me, and then it evolved into performing arts, and I really enjoyed theater when I was in school, and so I think my unrealistic expectations soon became something that I really wanted to pursue.
And it became quite spectacular, because there are a lot of people here who want to be in acting, and to get even the OC in the first place, that was like really, really amazing. So.
Yeah, I mean, I've been really blessed. The universe has been good to me.
I would definitely agree. You are blessed, and you're a wonderful person too. So that's even better.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, and also you have another show that you're going to start shooting too. Are you allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, we start filming in July. It's called Colony. Carlton Cuse and Ryan Condal are the showrunners on it, and Carlton did Lost, and he has
Amazing.
The Returned and The Strain and Bates Motel on the air right now. So I'm really excited. I think it's going to be good. It's a really high concept show. It's about Los Angeles being colonized under foreign occupation.
Whoa.
And it sort of revolves around the family struggles and the personal struggles that people deal with under foreign occupation. So I think it delves a little bit more into the emotional aspects of people's lives under that kind of strenuous environment. And
is it the Chinese government? Because we owe them so much money. I was just thinking that must be them, right?
I guess it could be that. It's unspecified.
Okay,
so
well, we're not allowed to say yet.
it could be, I guess at this point, it could be whatever you want it to be. But like I said, it mostly revolves around the emotional aspects of dealing with foreign occupation. And Josh Holloway and Sarah Wayne Callies star in the show. And
wow.
It's a really amazing cast, and it's a really great group of people, and it shoots in Los Angeles. So
perfect.
What more could you ask for?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you can still be here with your babies.
Yes.
You had to shoot in Hawaii before on North Shore, right?
Yeah, Hawaii was in North Shore was in Hawaii, and we ended up we shot a full season, but I think it was just shy. It was 20 episodes that aired, and it was a short-lived show, but a fun show nonetheless.
I can imagine it would be fun to shoot there. And don't you guys also? Well, you have lived in Hawaii too.
Yeah, we have a place out there that's become sort of our vacation home, I guess, but it's also an investment property that we rent out.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, this is amazing. And I know that your movie, Cats Dancing on Jupiter, is going to be coming out on May 4th.
May 4th, and you can go to catsdancingonjupiter.com to download it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's also going to be released theatrically in select theaters as well.
That's what we're still working on right now, but I think, we've been toying with the idea of doing that as well.
Very cool. And Cats Dancing on Jupiter, there's also this clip that we have of you going out with the girls.
Yes.
And
so maybe I should give a little background about the movie.
okay.
So Cats Dancing on Jupiter is about these two girls that are sort of in the advertising industry, and they victimize men. So this clip is about the girls going out for a night on the town, and this is sort of the prerequisite to when all hell breaks loose.
Right before it all hits the fan.
Before it all goes down.
Okay, so go ahead and check out the clip right here.
Okay, last chance. How do we look?
You look great. Like teacher sexy hot.
Thank you.
Okay. How do I look?
Motherly.
You look great.
Oh.
What? Yeah, in a MILF kind of way.
So where's the kid tonight anyway?
My mom's got him.
Oh, thank you.
What's that?
Maybe blueberry.
Northern Cal homegrown, baby.
Woo-hoo.
Look, we should light a cigarette to cover the smell, okay?
Oh my God, Joe, we're such a square sometimes. You know you were getting with me tonight. Smoke. It'll help desensitize you.
All right, fine.
Woohoo! Peer pressure!
All right, so you're like being the good girl in that clip, basically. You're like trying to calm things down, but yeah. Well, I'm really excited about the movie and the whole sort of dichotomy that's going on in the story, and I think people will enjoy it. And it's kind of a different look at things than what's normally happening out there.
It's definitely an original script. I think there's no doubt about that. And I think it's a fun and entertaining film. I hope people respond to it and they enjoy it. And for us, it was a fun challenge to get it made, and we're really excited to finally see it come to full fruition and be able to release it.
Yeah, and I mean, I just have to ask you, if you don't mind, if you don't want to, it's totally fine, but when you're doing these scenes, like, some of these scenes are like, whoa, right?
Super racy.
Super risque. And, of course, you can pull it off because, as I said, you're gorgeous. But, like, isn't that funny? Like, your husband's directing, right?
It was a little bizarre at times. It was also a little bit like you couldn't just leave stuff on set, because it was, when you're working on a set with people that you don't know, it's like, okay, everything stays on set and you go home to your family. And with this, it was sort of like, oh, I have to come home with you too. Okay, cool. So whatever beef we had on set, we would try to leave it on set and not bring it home. But it was a challenge at times, and I don't know. I think we were up to the task. I mean, some people don't really survive making a movie together, but we certainly did, and we ended up having a child afterwards. So
Hey.
I guess this was sort of like our first baby.
Mazel tov. What was like one of your favorite episodes that you played on The Mentalist?
Oh, I think it was. I can't remember the name of the episode. I think it was called Red John's Friends. It was the one where Owen and I, or I should say Rigsby and Van Pelt, wake up in bed together. It's the one when Bosco is killed. And I don't know why, but there was just something so funny about that episode. And, all the hype to get Van Pelt and Rigsby together. And then here it is. It's finally happening. And it was a hilarious day shooting those scenes of the two of us in bed, and of course, like going through the body makeup to get under the sheets, and the sheets are just like covered in makeup.
Oh my
God!
God.
Well, because he had tattoos everywhere too, so it was like
Oh,
all
wow.
the tattoos had to be covered. And then you've got like sound men like standing over you, and you're like, hey, can you just like back your like step stool up a little bit so we're not like looking up your shorts when we're laying in bed.
Oh,
it was
God.
very funny, but. But it was a really fun episode to shoot, I think, because it was finally all the hype of Van Pelt and Rigsby. It sort of all finally came to a head, and we were able to put it on screen, because a lot of it was hinted or talked about, but never really seen.
Yeah.
And so I think it was probably fun for the fans too to finally see them be together.
Rigsby. Oh, hey. Yep. You got it, boss.
We're up.
Elizabeth?
Yep.
Oh, no. Oh, she's gonna call here next, so no, get out.
Grace, wake up. How's Lisbon gonna know about you?
Right. Yeah.
No.
Get out. Get out. Get out. Agent Grace Van Pelt. Hi, boss. What's up? All right.
Be together, but then of course in the end to truly be together and have a family together and all that stuff, and not be against the grain of what the CBI was going to allow us to do.
Excuse me. Thank you. Try the cake.
Oh, thank you.
It's been 2 hours and nobody's gone anywhere near the exit. We need a distraction.
Okay. How do I look?
Fine. Look.
Good. Excuse me. Is this on? Yeah. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention for 1 second, please. I'd like to offer one more toast. I'd like to thank Stacy and Roberto for making me realize just how important it is to protect a dream. I didn't protect my dream. To be honest, I didn't know how. But what can you do when you meet the right person at the wrong time?
Do her anyway.
Well, yeah, that works for a while, but eventually you say things or don't say things. You make more mistakes than you can count. And in the end, well, things fall apart.
Is this your idea of a distraction?
Trust me. Now, if you're lucky, you might find each other again. But there's too much history and heartache to ever find your way back to that dream. At least that's what I thought. I'm hoping I was wrong. Grace? Will you marry me? Well, say something. This is real.
Yes, man, of course I'll marry you. Target's on the move.
That's really cool. How fun. Yeah, all of the build up about them, you know, and the looks and the back and forth that's going on. It must have been really cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was a great run for us and a good group of people, and you become like family when you work with each other for that many years.
I can imagine.
Actually, Owen and his wife just had a baby.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, so it's funny, you know, and then when we were on the show in the second season, Tim had a child as well. So it was, you know, I think all of us were kind of in that age and space where we were all kind of starting our own families, and it was such a great environment to have that. And of course, Simon has 3 kids, and watching his children like grow up and, you know, start college and finish. I mean, it was like so crazy how time, you know, and when you start the show where everybody's lives are, and to watch the evolution of our lives over the course of 6 or 7 years, and kind of where you all end up, it's a bittersweet pill to swallow when you wrap it all up.
It's so true. I can imagine, because, you know, just as you know, having kids, how fast they get older.
Yeah. Well, I think you suddenly become so hyper aware of time and how time is your enemy. And I think before you have children, you're not fully tuned into that. I mean, that's at least how it was for me. Like I suddenly was, I remember bringing Knox home from the hospital and thinking, oh my God, I'm going to blink and he's going to be 16 and hate my guts and not want me to like spend any time with him. You know, it's like you suddenly become so hyper aware of how time is so fleeting. And those moments are really, you know, to be able to slow down and cherish the good things in life, how important it is.
Very much. Yeah. That's very cool. Fantastic.
Cool.
It's been so great having you on the show.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, it was great. It was nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too. Congratulations, and I'm going to be keeping an eye out for The Colony.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for watching actress Amanda Righetti on
The Red Booth.